Hey guys, welcome back. Today we're making
broccoli cheese soup.
So creamy and so delicious.
And so keto.
So this is a vegetarian broccoli cheese soup. A lot of times broccoli cheese soup is made with chicken stock and it gives it a little oomph of flavor to it. But since this is a vegetarian version, we're going to add a couple of extra ingredients, namely some celery, some onions, some garlic, and that's going to kind of make it into like a vegetable broth, which is going to amp up the flavor.
And I love eating the soup for dinner, for lunch. It's just the perfect meal and it fills you up really good too.
Yeah, absolutely. So first we've got 1 pound of broccoli right here. This is like really nice, delicious looking broccoli. And in this recipe, we're actually going to use the stalks. We're not going to throw those away. But what we're going to do is kind of cut the stalks off because they are going to be part of our vegetable stock. So just go in there and just remove the little florets at the very base. And you have this nice stalk base right here that's going to add a lot of flavor to our vegetable stock. And once the stalks are removed, we're just going to roughly chop this broccoli. We don't need to chop it very, very finely because it's going to be blended anyhow later, but that'll do. And take it to the side.
So next we're going to be chopping up the celery and the onions.
We're also going to chop up these broccoli stalks. And we've got about 4 cloves of garlic. Chop that up.
So we've gotten all of our prep work done. We've got all of our chopped vegetables in one bowl, and we've got all of our broccoli floret in another.
And now we're going to go to the stove and start the soup. Alright, so we've got a nice large pot here on the stove. I've got 2 tablespoons of butter and 1 tablespoon of extra virgin olive oil heating up. And while that butter and oil is heating up, I'm going to go ahead and add in the chopped garlic. I want to do this before the oil gets hot so that it infuses the garlic flavor inside the oil without burning. And I'm also adding 1 bay leaf. And once the garlic has a little time to cook in the oil, we're going to go ahead and add in all our chopped veggies. And we're going to mix well and let these saute until the onions become a little translucent. And also add in some salt to help the process along. Alright, so our veggies have been sauteing for about 5 minutes and they look like they're a little translucent now. So we're going to add 2 teaspoons of Italian seasoning and a ½ teaspoon of red chili flakes. This is optional. You can leave it out or you can put more if you like. Give that a good mix. And in goes 5 cups of water.
Okay, and now we're going to cover it and bring it to a boil.
Alrighty, it's been about 5 minutes. And give this a quick stir. And add in our broccoli florets. The reason we add the broccoli in later is we want all the tough to cook vegetables to be cooking first, and we don't want to overcook the broccoli. So that's why we add it in here. And we're going to let it cook for just about 5 minutes. And you can leave this uncovered. You can also go ahead and add in a little bit more salt to your taste.
So the broccoli's been cooking for 5 to 6 minutes, and make sure it's tender.
That's perfect. Knife goes right through very easily. So now you can turn off the stove and we're gonna remove the bay leaf. And here's a little step that we can do. We can take a few of these broccoli florets and just keep them to the side. And we're gonna grind the rest of the mixture in a blender, but then at the very end we can chop these up and put them back in so it has a nice texture to our soup. And that should be enough. Also, be careful grinding because it is very, very hot liquid and it could jump out at you. So you can either let it rest for a little bit and cool down or be very, very careful.
So we blended it and here it is. So now we're gonna pour it back into the pot.
That looks beautiful. You can also turn the stove back on.
And now we're gonna add 4 ounces of softened cream cheese.
Just cut it into cubes so it melts in there faster. So I tell myself this every time and I forget by the next time I make this soup, but it's probably easier to take that softened cream cheese and put a little bit of this hot liquid into it and melt it first before adding it in, just so it becomes really smooth really fast. This takes a little bit of work. It'll still work, but it takes a little bit more effort. So there's your tip for the day.
And once we're done mixing that, we're gonna add 1 cup of cheddar cheese.
This is cheddar jack, which works just as good, but if you have regular cheddar, that works as well. And mix that through.
And once that's melted, we're gonna add a 1/2 cup of heavy whipping cream.
And keep mixing. And see how nice and smooth and silky this soup is? That addition of the cream cheese really helps because, again, this is a gluten-free soup. Most broccoli cheese soups do have a little bit of flour in them, and since we're not using any flour, that cream cheese really helps bind everything together. And this is a perfect chance to do a final taste test for salt as well. And when everything is nice and melted and smooth, our final step, I've just took those broccoli florets we pulled out earlier and gave them a rough chop. I'm gonna add that back in. So it gives our soup a nice broccoli look to it.
So it's ready. Now we get to taste it.
The best part.
Ooh, that is good.
I could have bowls and bowls of this. It's so good. It's like a filling meal.
Yeah.
Like what you were saying, either a lunch or a dinner, that's all you're gonna need. So if you like this video and you decide to try it out, please give us a like and also leave us a comment below and let us know what you think about it.
And if you'd like to see more content like this, subscribe and hit that bell button so you'll be the first to know whenever we post a new video.
And finally, don't forget to follow us on Instagram.
So remember guys, it's easy to keto if you know how. Thanks for watching. Bye. So we've done all of our prep work. We've got all of our chopped vegetables in one bowl and we've got all of our broccoli.
Broccoli. We've got our broccoli.